Hey, you were so excited, aren't you? He's so excited. Did you take a shot?
Are we saying it?
We can always cut the first part. We can always say, yeah, cut this, whatever.
We're never gonna get through this. So what am I supposed to say? Okay, I gotta stop laughing first.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Mom and Son Unplugged. I am Melissa, the mom part of the podcast.
And I am DeMonte, the son part of the podcast, and welcome to episode 16.
Episode 16. So, welcome back for another episode. And as you see, we have two guests with us this episode. So, first, I want to say thank you so much for agreeing to do this episode with us. We really appreciate it. And this will be an awesome opportunity for our viewers to see a perspective of how parents go through the transition of their relationships and boundaries and expectations of growing up, going through the stages with their kids. You know, you have your young toddler years, you have your teenage years, and then you transition with them growing into adults. So, DeMonte and I thought it would be a super cool idea to have couple awesome people that we know to also provide their perspective on their experiences of a mom and daughter relationship going through these phases and how it has worked for them.
Okay.
So let me introduce our guests. So we have Marisol and we have Juliahna. Marisol and I, we had met each other back in 2014. We were at training together. Her and I were getting ready to go on a deployment, and we met each other in class and we started hanging out together, and then realized we had so much in common that, yeah, we've been friends ever since. And that is her daughter, Juliahna. So, Marisol, first I'll have you just give our viewers a little bit of background of who you are.
Well, first off, thank you for inviting Juliana and I to the podcast. I'm really looking forward to everything that we're going to share. So, like Melissa said, my name is Marisol. For those people that can't pronounce and roll their R's, it's Marisol. So, and like she mentioned, I currently live in Riverview, Florida, but I'm originally from Puerto Rico. And as far as like, what am I doing, like now with my life? Well, after 20 years of serving in the Air Force, I'm officially a retired military. My fur baby.
Thank you so much. And Juliana, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Juliana, of course. Right now, I am a dental assistant in Lakeland, but I live in Davenport. As we've heard, my mom was military, so we moved all over the place. So home, it has been all over, but Miami has just always felt like home to me. So anytime somebody asks where I'm from, I just go with Miami, Florida. So, just working, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Oh, awesome. Well, welcome.
Yeah, so starting this episode off, I think we're going to go around and then each of us are going to share 3 words that would describe our current parent-child relationship or adult-adult relationship now. Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I would say that our relationship is very stable. I think we have a really good relationship with each other. I would say it's encouraging. I know doing this race has been really encouraging equally for the both of us. And I would say that our relationship is still growing together. Um, I know like we've talked over the past few years about like how our relationship is transitioning, and I feel like it's still developing. So I would say
Nice.
stable, encouraging, and then growing.
Yeah, I really like that. Actually, I was thinking about this earlier because I was thinking of 3 words, and I was like, man, what are the 3 words to really describe where we're at this point in our lives? And growing was the first word that came to my mind. because I was like, I feel that we're both still growing. Even as an adult, we still grow. And I like the word encouragement, but also I was thinking of the term encouragement, but also like Demonte gives me a lot of great advice. So I really lean on him a lot for encouragement in that aspect because I really love seeing his perspective on things. And I think love is another word to describe because I feel love has a different term as you get older. um when your kid is younger, I look at that love in a different way than I see the love now, because I'm like, man, I was like, he is a grown man, and I love just watching where he's at in life. And I've learned to, I think, show my love a different way, because your love does have, I feel like my love for him has to change in a different aspect because he's not a young little boy anymore. He's a grown man. Yeah, that's the way I think of the our three words. Marisol, what do you think?
So it was interesting listening. So I'm over here, like, saying, yeah, because my words were unbreakable, because no matter like what happens in life, like I'm always going to be there for her.
Yeah.
So that was my first word, was unbreakable. And you said growing, right? It changes. My word is it evolves, right? It's evolving.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Because yeah, like, like how you mentioned, Melissa, like this, so we started off with babies, then toddlers, then teenagers, and now it's adults. So the word evolving is perfect. And my other word was fun.
Oh, I love that.
It's
Yeah.
fun, but I did put fun at times. Not always, but it's fun because, now I get to go and have fun with her, right? One thing that she used to mention to me is, you used to tell me, she's like, Mom, you remember when you used to tell me that I wasn't I'm not one of your little friends? She's like, look what's going on now. So yeah, so we just came back from Puerto Rico. We had fun. Sangria night. She's there with me. So that's
Yeah.
so fun.
Oh, I love that.
What about you, Juliana?
It's actually kind of crazy that you said evolving because that was actually my first word, evolving, um, and honest, as well as like still learning because it's not what it used to be, but we're still figuring it out in like real time. Um, so I would definitely first like for sure say evolving because it's like 100% not what it used to be, like at all. So I think that's something that I'm glad that's happening and look forward to the like many more changes that are to come.
Oh, I like that. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. So, what is something that you appreciate about your mom now than what you didn't when you were younger?
Man, that's actually like a. Can we come back to me?
Sure.
Don't want to go first.
I think sort of like what you said, how you depend on me now for advice. I think I've had the opportunity now, like working wise, I think I lean on you for advice that I probably didn't take opportunity of when I was like younger. Just like college, friends, moving. Like
Hmm.
I guess I would never ask you like for your input on it. I would just try and figure it out. Whereas
Right.
like now, like if I have like a hard time at work, then I'm like, I ask for your advice on it. So I think utilizing like I know like we've talked about it before, but it's like this is your first time living as well as like my first time. And I think that's something that I didn't really realize and take opportunity of when I was younger.
Oh, okay. Well, I do remember back, and I'm probably glad you didn't listen to my advice because I really love your work ethic. No, because there was this time where he had this. opportunity to go on a field trip. It wasn't a field trip, but he was in this business group in high school called DECA. And there was this opportunity for a trip that I really wanted him to go on, but he was really concerned about getting coverage for his shift at work. And I told him, I was like, I don't care about that job. I was like, I care more about what opportunities you can get while you're in school and what you're learning in school. And I was like, just quit your job. I was like, you can just quit your job and we'll figure it out. But he did not take my advice. I wouldn't tell you to do that today. I wouldn't tell you to quit your job. We would think through it a little bit more rationally, but no, I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I definitely depend on Demonte too for his advice. Um, yeah. So Marisol, what about you? What do you appreciate about Juliana now that maybe it was something that you didn't when she was a little bit younger?
So I appreciate that she understands things like a lot better, like things that I used to fuss her about. Now she gets it. Like an example was her messy room, right? Now that she has her own place, now she keeps her place clean, organized. And she's even said to me, like now I get it. Having responsibilities like paying bills, or why I would come knocking on her door when she would be taking, long showers. Now she understands, right? That it's
Yeah.
what you need to pay a water bill, right? So that's what I really appreciate now, is the fact that she understands the reasoning of why I did certain things. And I think that that has made like our relationship like a lot better now that she's transitioned as, to an adult.
Nice. All
I
right,
actually,
Juliana, did you think of something?
well, I did have an answer. I don't know. I think I was just a little shy to go first.
Okay.
But I actually kind of wish I said it because I don't want it to seem like my answers are going based off like my mom's, but my answer was the same thing. Like me living in her house, like I called it more of nagging, right? Always in my ear about something. If it's not the bathroom, it's the dishes. If it's not the dishes, it's my room. But now it's like I feel like I see it more as care and steering me in a better direction, because like she mentioned, is that since I have my own place, like my place is always clean. Like I can eat off the floor, kind of clean. So it was. I think it took me to get my own place to understand like the constantly being on me about everything, to understand that where she was coming from with those things was out of care and knowing that you're gonna eventually have to do this on your own. So my answer falls similar to hers.
All right, so I have a side question. It's not on our sheet, but now that you've experienced it and now that you're adult, if or when in the future when you have a child, will you approach the same method of being on your future child, of cleaning responsibilities and all of that? How would you approach that?
It's actually crazy that you asked that, because I sometimes I do think of like what my future like holds. So like me having like a child or things like that, it's like I feel like I would be exactly how my mom was with me. Like because and one I will say is that now that I come home and I have to do everything myself, it's like I understand when she would call me or text me, "Hey, have the chicken out, or have the chicken, already defrosted or in the sink by the time I get home." Because now it's like when I get home, I have to do all these things by myself. So for me to have a child, I can see myself being the exact same way. Those dishes better be out of my dishwasher when I come home. That
Exactly.
that chicken.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's it. You remember those dishes in the dishwasher?
Those dishes, yeah. Like those dishes better be out of my dishwasher by the time I come home.
That is
Yes.
funny. Oh man. That's funny. All
What
right.
about you?
Oh, did I go?
Yeah, you already answered.
Oh yeah, okay.
She did, Demonte.
Did I?
Yeah, she went after you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think I was just kind of adding a comment onto like what he said.
I think he's saying like because of the question that you asked Juliana, maybe.
No,
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, okay.
oh yeah,
Oh,
no, I
okay.
really didn't answer it. I think I was just adding on.
I thought you were just saying that you appreciate my advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forget. I forget where we are sometimes. What I appreciate about DeMonte now than when he was younger, I really appreciate that he's opening up to me more. I really, really love that. And one day, it was years ago, DeMonte was in a relationship with this young lady, and it prompted him to ask me a question. And he was like, he was like, I feel like we only have surface level conversations. And then I told him, I was like, you can ask me any question you want to ask me. And like DeMonte was just always like a quiet, almost like shy kid, it almost seemed like. So that really started opening up our deeper conversations. So I really appreciate him being more open now. And I think this podcast also has a lot to do with us having these conversations and like the different topics that we're doing. So I appreciate that.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. All right. DeMonte, do you want to start off the next
Yeah.
section? All right.
How would you guys say that your boundaries have changed from when Juliana has become an adult? Like, what was there any like specific boundary that you guys had to like talk about over and over again? Was there any transitionary hardship that was faced?
Well, at least for me, I think it was, like being a child, like everything was rules, right? So it was like me living in like the house, it was what happens here is what we say, right? But I feel like now it's going from rules to conversations. Like that's as far as I thought about that question. But just it transitioning from it being rules to actually just conversating about like things that I don't know. I don't know how to explain that part, but
Yeah, I know what you
No,
mean.
I can explain it. I can explain it because I had something similar to what you just said. When Juliana left Florida back in 23, right? It was 2023. It was she went from living with us to her first time having like her own apartment. So she knew that even though I'm always going to be her mom, now it's like now she's not living with me, now she's like paying her way through life. And I guess my boundary was like, yes, I'm always going to be here, but now you need to really figure it out, on your own. Like, I'm going to be here, but now I need to let you, do like live your life without being like that helicopter mom or trying to be the like my husband loves to call it like being like what is that thing when like in the circus like when you're doing a trick and
Like the ringleader,
no like like
The
when they
trapeze?
no like the mat like,
safety net.
yeah like being like a safety net, sorry, yeah like
Sounds like
oh,
what about you, Melissa?
breeze. I don't know. Like DeMonte and I were talking about this, but I feel like we really didn't have boundaries like that or anything. I don't know. I will say, and I always tell everyone, I feel DeMonte was a different kind of child. Like he was a very and not different in a bad way, but like when I would talk with coworkers, they would talk about their kids, and I'd be like, my son doesn't do that. I think just Demonte was just always really quiet, and he did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, so I don't think anything ever really changed as far as like boundaries wise. I think it just goes back to our conversations have changed. There wasn't any boundaries per se. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything to add, Demonte?
No, I was gonna say the same thing. Like we talked about it, and it's not like I was ever like sneaking out, and it was like we were like button heads all the time.
No.
I know like it's a little bit farther down, but the one thing that we said that it was like sort of similar to what you said with your guys' relationship is we said like I would say like it's not even a real struggle, but I know my mom wants to know like everything I'm doing and she always worries. So that's like that's what we agreed was probably like the biggest struggle because like she
Yeah.
said, I've never been like into trouble. I do what I'm supposed to do. And she was like, I'm always worried I'm just gonna get a phone call that like something bad happened. And then I'm like, when does that ever happen? Like I was
Oh
like I
no.
was like, where is this fear stemming from?
I think just yeah, and like I was telling him, there's just this fear like I'm not going to be able to get there in time to be with him to help him through, or what if he gets into an accident and he's in the hospital? Am I going to get there quick enough to be there? I don't know.
Right.
It's just
And
always a worry.
right. And you know, and then Monte mentioned like where is this fear coming from?
Yeah.
And what I can say is that the fear is coming from the fact that your mom is probably watching a lot of TV, right? But no, I'm just kidding. No, like just no, just remember, right? Like, you know, you were in a teenager where she, sorry for using this word, but kind of like a control, right? Because she knew where you would be at all times. She knows that you're not going to be, you know, like out in a club getting, you know, tore up from the floor up. But now, as a grown adult, now you can go and do those things. And she knows
Mhm.
what happens in those type of events that you may
Yeah.
be a responsible person, but the things happen, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So this will go more for Juliana and Demonte. What type of boundaries do you wish your moms would recognize without you having to say it? Like Juliana, is there something that your mom like really tries to like want to know about, but you're like, oh, I kind of wish she knew this boundary. Like, don't ask me about it, or
Actually, no. I would say I don't have a boundary with my mom. I feel like for a while, I was very closed off. Never talked to her about anything. I was just always up in my room. But now it's like I involve her in everything that I do. Like she has access to my work schedule, so she sees when I'm at work, when I'm off, those kinds of things. When I have like the day off, I'll just like tell her randomly, "Oh yeah, I'm driving to Walmart. Oh, I just bought this at Walmart. Okay, well, I'm heading home now." So, and like she's like I don't really have to like tell her what I'm doing because she has all the resources to be able to see what I'm doing. She's able to see where I'm at all times with my location. I know with the, with my work schedule, she knows when I'm at work, and I don't really feel like I have a boundary with her just because I give her the access to know what I'm doing, where I am, and those kinds of things.
what about you, Demonte?
I feel like you're laughing because like it's so different from our relationship. But I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's no boundary, but it's like we don't do that. Like
I know. I'm
And
thinking
it's
Demonte's
okay
probably like, she better not do that with me.
for her to do that. She shares her location, which I don't be looking at. She shares her schedule, and I would still ask her, be like, "Hey, are you working today?" But I appreciate it.
Oh, that's
does it
funny.
make you feel better knowing like you have access to all that?
Yes.
It does, but it's not like I said, right? I appreciate her doing that, but it's not required. It's not like I said one day and I said, Juliana, you need to share your location. You need to, share your calendar. When I started getting all these invites to her calendar, I was like, what on earth is going on here? And she was like, well, mom, I just want you to know about my life. And I was like, I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. But she does it. She checks more my location than I check her.
I do. I do. Sometimes I'll plop my phone up and just watch her drive live. And I'm like,
That's funny. Isn't there like a show on like Life, not Lifetime, but there's like a show on TLC about that? I think there's a show.
probably so.
I've never watched it, but
I don't know. I've never watched it either.
Do you think for the moms, was there a boundary that came from like our side that like surprised you that we were bringing this topic up or like it hurt?
So I'll go so again, right? As an adult, Juliana shares everything with me, which again, I really appreciate. So
Did it surprise you?
yeah, it shocked me because, like she said, she was so closed off. She would never, like when she moved to Alabama, I didn't know anything that she was doing. I would have individuals that were living over there calling me and telling me, what she was doing because she wouldn't talk to me, like not talk to me as in oh, like we didn't have like any type of communication, but she wasn't as open. Yeah, she was definitely not. So yes, it definitely surprised me when I'm getting all these invites to the calendar and then she's sharing her location with me and I'm like, who is this?
That's funny.
What prompted the switch? Now I'm curious.
I think it was more of me becoming like an adult that it's like closed mouths don't get fed. If I don't tell her mom like I need help with something, like she's not gonna know. And then like if I'm going through something, it's like the only thing that she sees is okay, like she's reserved, she's quiet, she's not texting me as much, she hasn't called. Whereas I can just be like ma and wait for her to respond. Just so I know that that she
Yeah.
got my text first. But I think the change really just came from just transitioning from a teenager to an adult because when I moved there, I think I was maybe like 19. I was still wanting to just do everything by myself, figure it out on like by myself. And then once I hit like a certain age, it just became like, you know what? Like I just want to talk to my mom.
And I think that what she realized, especially last year, Juliana, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that no matter like what happens in life, she knows that I'm gonna be there for her. Yes, there's things that she needs to learn, on her own. But last year, I think really, really strengthened our relationship because I put a lot on the line for her. And I think that made her realize like, wow, like this woman is really in my corner.
So sometimes even like through rough times or struggles, there's always a bigger reason for that.
Yes.
So that's the silver lining of struggles. So, thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And I think we actually just kind of discussed our next question. Or no, DeMonte, did you answer? Did we answer that?
Number 6 about where we struggle.
Yeah.
A little bit. I was just saying like we struggle. Like you want to know like you worry.
Yeah.
Um but you never question like any lifestyle choices or anything.
No. So, has there been any moments where boundaries were crossed and led to tension? And what did you learn from that?
So I'll go first on this one because I actually texted Juliana and I sent her that question. And I said, "Do you have an answer for this one?" And And I told her, I was like, I was gonna tell like a quick synopsis, right? I'm not gonna go into a story. So I'm not gonna say like, as far as boundaries, what I've asked her is to be respectful, right?
Mhm.
Respectful of my time and my energy. I'm not here to be, on the phone, just waiting for her to have like a meltdown or whatnot. But recently we had a little situation where it created tension for me because, my time and money was involved. Her and I, we talked about it, which I'm going to keep it off the air, but she knows what I'm talking about. But I think that, just kind of like clarifying or kind of like reinforcing, like, hey, like, just don't do that again to me. It made us like realize that, like, oh, okay, like, mom, I'm sorry, but tension, we don't have it frequent, but we talked about it and we're good. Juliana.
What about you, Juliana?
I mean, when she sent me this question, I told her, I was like, honestly, I don't feel like there's a boundary that she's crossed with me. I don't feel like there's been tension that for some, well, actually, yeah, no, never mind.
It's like, wait a minute.
Like, you know what? Light bulb. But I don't think that there's really been a boundary that she's crossed with me for the reason that I gave earlier, is that I give her access to everything. So no tension, no boundaries. Like, I mean, she has access to my apartment. Like, she could
Okay.
literally walk up in here. It's, yeah, I don't have a boundary with my mom.
Hey, what about you, Demonte?
Yeah, I was gonna say no. I don't think there's ever been a moment that you were being like too invasive on anything.
Yeah, I don't think so. We
G-
might be the boring pair here, but I don't know.
That's so funny.
No, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Like, it's awesome. But yeah.
I guess like hearing y'all's stories, I'm like, man, I feel like we haven't gone through any troubles to strength. Like, do we need strengthening? I don't know. I feel like we're missing out on something. I'm not really sure.
She
You're not
said,
missing out. You're not missing out. Trust me. You're blessed.
like I guess the only thing that I would say, like, I don't know if it's like common in like a parent child relationship, but like your dating story is like, I feel like that's where like I know a lot. You don't tell me all of them. Like I don't know when you're going on a date every week, but I feel like
I just tell you the aftermath.
you tell me the aftermath, but then like we just discuss it. Like I think that's a boundary like a lot of parents wouldn't like share as they're trying to
True.
navigate dating, but
Yeah.
then we just like share perspective and I'm like, what if he thought XYZ? Or I'm like
Right.
or I'm like, man, I think you were tripping a little bit. But
No, see, and this is where I like Demonte's input and his advice.
Hmm.
I mean, I will say, like, I think, like, because there's for sure differences between your relationship with Demonte and mine with my mom. That, like, it's kind of like, I think a mother-daughter relationship is a little different than a mother and son.
For
Um,
sure, I agree.
so, like, it's not that you and Demonte just need strengthening or haven't gone through enough, but it's like there's definitely differences between a mother and son relationship than a mother and daughter. So I think that's where our differences are, is that you guys you both have kids, but they're two different genders. So I
Right.
think we relate to certain things, and then there's things that we don't relate to because we don't experience that.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's so true. I love
it's
your
a good point.
perspective on that. Very good point. All right. So I'm loving this next topic that we're getting into is our favorite word of expectations. I actually don't like the word expectations unless they're discussed between the people that are involved. So with that being said, for everyone, did you have expectations for each other when your child is entering adulthood? Like, did you have any expectations on Juliana of, man, I hope when she gets older, this is what she will do as far as communication with me, or yeah.
So I always told Juliana that she needed a career to be able to sustain herself. And that as long as she was going to school, that I would help her in in life. I mean, not like
Mhm.
pay her way, pay everything, but that I would be there, to support her. I didn't want her, nothing against, like these little odd, like not little, sorry, that's not the word I should use, like, jobs where you're working, you're jumping from job to job, um,
Yeah.
like not life sustaining careers, because now everything is so expensive, right? Like
Yeah.
gas, rent, utilities. So I wanted to make sure that she had something that wasn't, working forever at a
Right.
fast food place. I wanted her, to have like, benefits. I wanted her to have something, that a skill, right? A trade. And that was the only thing that I required from her. As far as family, Juliana, she's only 22. I do want her, I do hope, in the future that she can find someone that, that loves and respects her. Uh, but, all in due time.
So, expectations that I had for Demonte, even when he was young, I knew that he was always very focused, and the I could always tell the way his mind worked when he was younger. Like, I knew he was going to have a plan. I knew he was going to do something great. I think the only expectation that I had for him, this is going to sound bad, but I didn't want him going into the military, only because I felt, from my standpoint, I just don't feel it created much of a stable life, because you're always bouncing around, and I didn't want him having that. So I would say that was the only expectation I put on him. All right, so adult kids. What expectations from your moms feel outdated or unrealistic?
I think I have a good one.
Can't
I'm
wait.
That
scared. I'm scared.
Oh gosh.
um, she hasn't talked about it a lot lately, but I know this. I don't know if I would say it's like outdated or unrealistic, but I know that she wants grandkids,
I mean, at some point.
and it's not like she's pressing me about it.
No, I've never
Um,
pressed him. Never.
Okay.
I don't even think we've ever really talked about it.
no, because we've talked about it a couple times, and you're always like, you're not like, have you thought about kids soon when I'm in a relationship? But
No.
sometimes we talk about kids, and I'm like, that just sounds horrible. And you're like,
Yeah,
no.
so when he
And you're
says
like,
it sounds horrible, it makes it feel like he's never going to have them. And it's like, man, I would love at some point for him to experience that.
and I think I've been on the side of non kids for a while. And then I'll have like blips of being like, okay, it doesn't seem that bad. But I guess for me, it just like, I don't know if I would say it's an outdated expectation, but I feel like that is like a pretty like traditional expectation.
Yeah.
Like if you have kids, like they're gonna keep making your lineage go on. But I think that's starting to change, like, cause like it's the whole term, like dinks, like dual income, no kids. Like that
I've
wouldn't have been a
never heard
thing
of
in
that term.
like that wouldn't have been a thing in your time.
I learned something new. It dinks.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that
And
term.
it's
Dual
people are
income, no kids.
yeah,
Okay.
people are like, we could just be dinks and travel. Or we could be like the cool uncle and aunt, and we could just be
Okay.
dinks and ride out that lifestyle. But I
Wow.
feel like that wouldn't have been a thing that was like normalized in your generation.
That was like, when I was your age, that was something that was never even talked about. Like, oh, no kids, let's live our best life. No, like that was never even, no. What, Juliana, have you heard of that term?
I've never heard of the term, but I know what he's talking about. But I've never
Okay.
heard it being referenced as a dinks.
I always heard that term as a negative connotation. Like instead of the N, it was a C, but it meant the same thing.
Talk to Juliana about kids
Okay.
because she's 22
Yeah.
and I do tell her that she does not need to be bringing no kids into this life, into this world
Mm-mm.
right now, because I want her, to I want her to be stable. She needs to take care
Yeah.
of the things that she needs to take care of in her life first. She's, still a growing adult. And it's crazy because at her age, I had her at
Yeah.
22. She
Yeah.
was born, and now I see her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing, and what was I thinking? So
Same. Yeah.
yeah,
I had DeMonte. I turned 22 a month after I had him. And I think the same thing. I'm like, wow, so young. I couldn't even imagine DeMonte at that age having a kid because I'm like, they're just getting their lives together.
Like I would have a 2 year old
Like,
right now.
that would be bizarre. Like, and I'd be living in Utah. Like, because I would be there to take care of the baby.
I can see you doing that.
No, because I told him, I was like, I don't want you having a kid yet until I'm ready to move wherever you're living at the time. So, and I don't think if you decide to stay there and have a kid there, I don't know if I'm ready to move to Utah yet. Be part of the secret lives of Mormon wives. I don't think I'm ready for that.
That's so funny.
Oh,
I'm
man.
learning so much about your mom, Demonte. I'm learning so much about her.
Oh, this is so much fun. Right. So, Marisol, do you still have a an expectation that you can't let go of for Juliana?
Wait, Juliana didn't go.
Now,
Shit, I'm
now, why
sorry.
would you rat me out?
I'm a bad host. Oh yeah, because
um,
I definitely want to hear this. Yeah,
Someone's paying attention. Like he is keeping
thank God.
scores.
I mean, I think mine would have been kind of similar to Damonte's. Like I wouldn't say it's outdated, and I don't feel like it's an expectation, but I know like deep in her mind that she does have thoughts of like having a grandkid. And I know I'm pretty vocal about no kids. Like forget
Oh,
that. Right?
wow.
I feel like I'm very like stern about I do not want kids at all. But then sometimes, there's like little blips like, like maybe one won't hurt, but then it's like I feel at this kind of like time it's I feel like I'm just being very selfish to myself that knowing by having a kid that I can no longer just get up and go. Like I don't just have to worry about myself, just get dressed, fix my hair, brush my teeth, and out the door. Now I have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Change, put in it a bit, make sure it's fed, make sure the little bag for like a what
Yeah.
is it, a diaper bag is put together. I don't have no time for that. Like
Set your alarm
I
every
just
2 hours and then get up and
I just want
then
to get
then
up and
you'll
go.
realize.
Yeah, it's like I just want to worry about me and I just want to be able to just go to work, come home, walk through the door and not have to worry about anything. I don't have to be,
Yeah.
on the way home like, "Oh man, I have to feed these kids when I get home." Like I get to come home, do what I do and just kick my feet up. I just only have to worry about myself and it's literally like the best feeling because I see kids my age, like adults my
Yeah.
age that have kids and it's like I see it and it's like that kind of sucks whereas they have to worry about their child and
Daycare.
like
Daycare is expensive.
daycare and that kind of stuff where
Yeah.
me it's like I don't have to worry about that like so
Right.
I'm enjoying my life child free. I can just do as I please. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can continue on to the question. Marisol, what expectations if you have any, that you still hold for Juliana?
To right, I kind of like alluded to this earlier, was like, just, no matter how old we get, just respect my time, my money, and yeah, that, and always watch the way that you talk to me, no matter what. Always watch your tone.
Was this an answer that we missed a couple questions ago about a boundary that was crossed? I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking.
no, because sometimes, like when kids they become adults. I know you can't. I know y'all's relationship is perfect,
It's not.
but no, I'm just joking. But sometimes, especially like on text message,
Yeah.
in your head you see something, and I'm like what? So from time to time she'll send me something, and I'm like, girl, you might want to watch the way that you either send it to me, watch the exclamation mark or something, but
Watch the way you type.
yeah, watch the way you type.
I mean, sometimes I slip up. Sometimes I slip up. I
Well,
end up
sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. It's
sometimes
okay.
I end up like in a mood where it's like, okay, like I'm talking to one of my best friends. Like I'll slip up here and there, but at the same time, like before I send it, it's like, wait, no, this is my mom. Like, yeah.
Period.
What about you? What is expectation that is hard for you to let go?
A bad expectation, but it's something that I've always like reminded you of, is to just make sure that you have a healthy balance in life between working and enjoying yourself, making sure that you have something that you're doing that's fun for you. So that's one expectation that I've always had.
I think like we are like more reserved and we don't give unsolicited advice to anyone. And I was talking to someone at work
Mm.
about that. Like
Oh,
people at
right.
work think I like show favoritism, but people
Oh,
just ask me questions, so I engage with them more frequently. But it's like
gotcha.
I feel like
Okay.
you have a lot of wisdom that you don't share with me unsolicited.
Oh, okay. Do you want my unsolicited advice? Oh, okay. No, but normally when you're talking to me about work stuff and you'll tell me how you handled things, like I always love how you say you handle things. Like, I think it's like the most appropriate way. And I'll probably ask for your advice later on how I need to engage at work about something, because I chat GPT'd it earlier and I'm not sure if I like the answer from chat GPT, but I feel like I need to go more rogue, but I don't know. I'm not ready to up and quit, but I'm almost at the point. I'm right there.
I know that we've had some unexpected viewers, so let's hope that no one from your
Yeah.
work is watching this. Did you tell her about that?
Yes, unexpected viewers. Yes, I love the way you put that. That is so funny.
All right, so moving on. When did it
Absolutely.
first hit you guys that your relationship was shifting to adult?
So it was really hard for me when, like I said earlier, when she moved away and out of state. That's when I knew that, things got real, because I wasn't seeing her all the time. We would actually go probably like a week or so without even like, communicating, because she was over there, doing what she needed to do, working, trying to figure things out. So that period of time was like really hard for me, was when I moved up here and she moved to Alabama. That's when I really felt it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm an empty nester, I don't have no kids living with me. So
Okay.
Maybe I would say maybe like when, like, I guess like when I started like making decisions that maybe she didn't agree with.
Mm.
Um,
That, like now I have to, being an adult now, it's like I have to sit here and make my own choices and decide for myself. Like knowing that, yeah, I can still go and like be like, mom, like what do you think? Or like what would you do? At the end of the day, it's still my decision to make. And I guess like maybe there was, in the long run, when I tell her what I end up doing, it's like, okay, then like why'd you ask? Um So for me, I think it was just more of like when I just started like making decisions when it would be the opposite of what she said.
Do you feel that helped you grow though? Like
Um,
making your own decisions without her input, and whether those decisions were maybe didn't turn out as you had hoped, did you feel like you still grew and it grew your appreciation of being able to reach out and ask for her advice?
I would say that it grew when I would realize I'm like, okay, you know what? I at least made the decision like on my own. This was something that I decided, but then it would be times where it's like, okay, you know what? Making my own choice definitely did not help. I should have just said what my mom did. Yeah, it's like, you know what? Probably should have just did what she told me to do. But and I
Oh,
ended up
okay.
just doing what I wanted. And then sometimes thinking that I'm like, okay, you know what? I did what I wanted. This decision was mine. And then other times it just being like, yeah, I probably should have just went with what she said. Yeah. So 50-50.
Nice.
I
All
think
right.
for I think for us, I don't know if there was a specific moment, but I think just reflecting on it now, I think me deciding to like move from the East Coast and then like get my job, like you were like all of that was me, like based on what
Yeah.
job offers I got and what I was gonna do. Like, I knew that you were like supportive of what I was gonna do, but I think how I said our relationship is like growing. I
Hmm.
think when we would call like on a weekly basis and update, I think like the relationship was definitely shifting when we were talking about like decisions that we were making in our own lives, like
Right.
work wise or car wise or like financially. Like I feel like
Hmm.
that was when I started to like see it shift because then I feel like we were more equal on like our experiences and hardship. Not like obviously you've done this for twice as long as me, but it's like do I move? Do I not move? Like
Right.
do I take a good paying job and I move across? Like recently I moved. Like we both recently moved, and that was like we were both going through the same thing at the same time, and we were both like, well, the first time I moved within Utah, I was like, this is just going to be an expensive move, but my commute is just way shorter. So it's like that was like an adult decision that or like conversation relationship that we had. Because then you experienced the same thing a year later.
Yeah.
You're like this commute's killing me. It's just going to cost more, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, I did the same. Like we experienced the same thing, and we both ended up doing the same thing to fix it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like when our transition from adult to adult relationship, I felt like it was happening when you were in college. Because I feel that's when you were really honing in on your career, when you did that internship, and we were having those conversations, I think back then, but I do feel like that big move that you did from North Carolina to Utah, I do feel like that was a big shift because I was like, man, I was like, he made this decision. I was like, and it was a huge decision, and I was so proud. And I'm glad you did it, even though getting up to Utah is a trek, but but yeah, no, I agree.
Was there ever a hard part for your guys' dynamic changing from parent child to an equal adult that we haven't covered already?
Mom?
Juliana?
Uh,
Okay, I'll like for me, and I think I can speak for probably like a lot of parents. All I can think about is when you're accustomed of always having your kids home,
Mm,
and then and always having someone like Juliana would say like nagging. Now I don't have anybody that I can like. I mean, it feels great to like not have to be judged, don't get me wrong, but there are times that I do, I miss it because there was a lot of good times. There was, but I think for me it was just making that that transition from her leaving to her being like out on her own, because as moms we always want to be there for our kids. And I'm just like, when that happened, I was just like, oh my gosh, I pray that everything goes well. So I will say, and there was a lot of nights that I couldn't sleep. Um, so going from that to like not having her here, it was hard, but now it's like I fill my life up with other stuff. So
Now, I agree with you on that because even though DeMonte moved to be with his dad in eighth grade,
mhm.
when he was graduating college and he was trying to make a decision, basically what he was going to do after he graduates, whenever he would visit, I would, because since he's in supply chain management, whenever he came to visit around that time, I would drive him by the port in Tampa. And I'm like, well, the port is right here. I was like, he can do
Oh,
supply chain. Like, and I would try to get him to move here so bad. And I know he won't move here, but I do know what you're saying. Like, oh, I miss him being close because I'm like, here's an opportunity. He's not committed to school anymore. He can make his own decisions, so he can decide to move here. But yeah, but I do wish he was closer. So that
See,
was the hardest part.
I say the same thing about my mom. Then it's like the nagging. Honestly, sometimes I do miss the nagging. Like I've told her that sometimes I get like little PTSD moments where I'm doing something and all I hear in the back of my mind is Juliana, Juliana. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So it's like
That's funny.
sometimes I miss the nagging because it's like I know that my mom is there. She's near, she's around. Whereas now it's like I can't just walk into the room and, oh, mom, you're here, and just like bug her or nag her back about something else.
Right.
But it's like sometimes I do hear it in my ear when I'm just like, if I'm in the shower like washing my face, eyes closed, all I hear is Juliana. I'm
get out the
like I can't
shower.
escape.
You don't pay bills around here.
She's gonna be hiding in a closet one day.
No, at this point.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny. What about you, Juliana?
What
Where do
question?
you still want support from your mom besides
Um,
nagging?
I guess I would say the emotional support.
Okay.
I feel like from the way that I was in Alabama to now, financial support is definitely very different. There's of course times where it's like, mom, like you mind if I hold like $100? But
So she's saying she wants financial support.
I think now it's really just the emotional support, just being there, like just being an ear, or like when I just want to vent, it's like just be there, don't say anything, just listen. Take in what I'm telling you. And I think it's kind of like I feel like it kind of falls into like relationship, like I guess kind of duo, because it's like you can have a like I guess for me, right, is that sometimes I just want to vent, right? I don't want you to fix the problem. I don't want you to try and I guess resolve. I guess it's the same thing. I just want to vent it out unless I ask for you to give me advice towards it. So I feel like now it's I just want the emotional support. I just want to talk to you. I just want to vent to you. And I mean, if I ask, like, mom, like, what do you think? Then I think that's where it's like, okay, now you can invite yourself in to say something.
I
I'll
like
try.
that.
I'll try.
All right. Demonte, do you want to?
I think that you do it really well, but you always like support decisions that I make, and I think you do that well. And I think that's something that I still look for because I know that sometimes work gets difficult. And like you say, I handle things well, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you reassure me that like, no matter what, I'll be fine if I do stay or leave. Or so that always helps. So,
Oh, thank you.
moms, what does letting go but still being there look like for you?
So for me, again, it was being that safety net, right? That I talked about earlier, being, when Juliana gets in trouble or just anything like that, I have to let her learn for herself. And that took me a while to learn that. I used to have Brent always like, you need to stop resolving her issues. You need to stop resolving her issues. And it was really hard for me to go from being that person of always like fixing her stuff to being hands off. And I think it's harder for us military moms too, because even in the military, we had to resolve issues, right?
Yeah.
So doing doing that with her, it was so tough because it's like you know the answer, but you don't want to give it to them. You want them to figure it out for themselves.
Right.
It's like so that was really hard for me.
Nice.
What about you?
I think you and I both have a really good understanding and a good balance of this, of like, a issue and you've already figured out the problem. And I feel you talk to me about it just as a, what do you think about it? Or how do you think I handled it type situation. So, yeah, I feel like I let go, but I'm here whenever you want to, just as like a comforting, like, hey, did I do the right thing or should I have done this another way? Just as like a sounding board. But yeah,
Do you feel like our communication style has evolved or stayed the same, transitioning into an adult relationship?
I think it's definitely evolved, which I'm thankful for, because you don't ever want to stay the same, because then I feel you're not getting anywhere. It's kind of like being in a hamster wheel. But I feel we have definitely evolved and I've enjoyed it because we talk about a range of things from just from work stuff to financial goals to business ideas. Demonte and we just talk about a whole bunch of range of things. And it seems like both of our end goals sometimes is how can we both make more money? Like how can we both put extra money in our pockets? So I feel like that's how our communication has evolved, and of really and then not just about that aspect of things, but also our personal goals, like doing this darn half marathon that I've thought about quitting multiple times. Yeah. I'm gonna send you a picture of what my toes looked like yesterday when I finished my run.
Don't do that.
Remind me, I'll send you that later. I already sent it to Madi. She has a picture. They were
Fine.
terrible.
Pictures, pictures.
And yeah, what about you guys?
So we went from where she would not communicate before to now I'm getting like a plethora of like, hey mom, I'm going to Walmart. Hey mom, I'm doing this. Hey mom, I'm doing that. The other day she called me from the dental office because they were trying to like overcharge her for something for like an error that they made, and being able like having her call me because she values like my decision making. I feel that before she was always closed off, right, trying to figure out things on
Right.
her own, like, oh, I'm not gonna call my mom because she's probably gonna like talk my ear off or go off in tangents. But the fact that she calls me now and I'm like, well, what about this? And that she's just so open. I'm telling you, like Juliana is like night and day from what she used to be before. It's amazing, to be completely honest with you. So I would say that communication, like, yeah, like our communication has definitely evolved.
Oh, that's really good. I love hearing that. That's good. Well, that's if you want to know, like, if she's going to Walmart and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes she gives me things that I'm just like, okay, thanks, but you're good. You don't need to tell me these things. But
That's really sweet,
but
though.
I
That's
do
really
I do appreciate it because there's times that I sit back and I remember a while ago where this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little overboard, but it's what I prayed for. It
Right.
really is. You know, and they say watch what you pray for or watch what you wish for. Rihanna's
Yeah.
giving it to me 1,000%.
No, that's
That's
awesome. I
funny.
love that. Welcome back after intermission. Okay, so this is for Juliana and DeMonte. I'm going to ask you a two-parter question. So, what do you wish your mom understood about who you are now? And is there something that your mom does out of love that accidentally adds the pressure?
I think for me, something that you do out of love that adds pressure is like you're a planner. Like if there's anything, it's like your PTO is like out until 2029 on like trips and stuff, but that's not me. That's where we like differ a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that adds pressure to me because obviously we're far apart and we're trying to spend like holidays or events together
Yeah.
and you're like what does this look like? And I'm not even thinking about next weekend. And I think it always forces me to like be
To
thinking like
think.
way farther than what I'm used to.
Yeah. But you're just like your dad in that aspect because I already got me and DeMonte's tickets for the half marathon, and his dad still hasn't gotten his plane ticket yet. And then the crazy part is like his dad brought up the plane ticket conversation over a month ago. I'm like, and he's like dead silent. After I provided him me and DeMonte's plane ticket, he said shit. He's like ghosted.
No, he's like, man, this is real.
Yeah. But he's only doing the 5K. He shouldn't even be scared.
Is he really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. He said his knees were too old for the half marathon. So,
But I think that's the only thing that I could think of.
no, I
Yeah.
do agree with that. I am definitely a planner, especially when it comes to my PTO. Yeah, I agree.
What about you, Juliana?
The question for the adding pressure.
Oh,
That or
yeah.
something that you wish your mom understood about who you are now?
And if
Um,
she adds any pressure.
I think that for the question, like, what do you wish your mom understood about you now, is more of that, like, I'm not the same person that I was, like, growing up, especially like living with her. And I mean, she vocalized it like I'm completely different. I think one thing that may add pressure is like when she worries a little too much, because sometimes it feels like I'm doing something wrong even when I'm not. Yeah, I think that's how I would answer that question, those questions. Yeah.
Oh,
And then for the moms, what do you wish we understood about the fears or emotions behind your advice?
They're coming from a good place. You know, they're coming from our own experiences. And it's weird to say that, right? Because I don't feel that like my mom gave me as much advice like I gave Juliana. So I wouldn't say like that I'm giving Juliana advice that my mom gave me. I'm giving her advice from things that I learned throughout my lifetime that I always told her, I don't give you advice to hear myself, to make myself feel better or to sound like a broken record. It's just that I honestly don't want her to go through things that I went through. And if I can save her that headache, why not? Right. But again, that's where that safety net comes from because even though I give her the advice, she goes somewhere else and does something else. And I'm like, I told you, but she needs to learn for herself. What about you, Melissa?
fears about the fears or emotions behind my advice. I think I don't want to ever see him have to struggle or break down, like just emotionally break down over, especially about a job. Like I never want him to ever hate going to work because of a certain situation or anything like that. If he does ask me for advice about, I guess, anything regarding career wise, it's the advice I give would only be because you don't have to deal with the shit if you don't want to. It's like, to me, I look at it as it's just a freaking job. But and I get it in the grand scheme of things, like that's how you pay for your living. But I feel that he is very smart and successful to where I think he would be able to get another job just as easily if he's not liking the situation that he's in, or or whatever the circumstance may be. So it's like that's just one of my fears behind advice, is like, is yeah, I just don't want him to feel like he's being broken down because of work.
Good. I really like this next question about like, what do you wish that our children knew about the loneliness and identity shift?
Mm.
So this is a really good one because Juliana, being a Leo, so
Go
you
Leos.
too. Juliana is very
I'm scared.
me, right? And not that it's a bad thing, right? Because I know she just really likes my attention to be hers. And what
Mm.
I'm getting to is that I I've had to remind her, right? Because she'll get on me about I don't like my mom having other friends. Because now, right, she's laughing because we've had this conversation
Oh man.
before when I was living, when she was with me. I was in the military, so my life was her, my husband, and my kids, my husband, and work. Now I don't have that. So now, unfortunately, I go and I have to go out and do things that to occupy my time. And she'll be like, I don't like my mom having other friends. And I'm like, well, you need to understand that I need that because I don't go to work. I don't have that socialization anymore. I don't have my time filled up here at the house nagging, right?
Hmm.
So I have to fill in that void. And it's funny because she'll be like, I don't like this. I don't like my mom having other friends. And I'm like, well, girl, get used to it.
I don't want my mom living her life.
No,
Right.
seriously. Because it's like when I call her and she doesn't pick up, it's like, what are you doing besides being my mom?
Oh,
Like literally.
Your mom is
that is
having
your only
fun.
job.
Yeah, just be my mom. Answer the call, answer the phone when I call.
Hmm. Yep.
That is funny. I like that. That's a good answer. That's cute.
What about you?
What do you wish they knew about loneliness or identity shift that comes after raising kids? Man, and this is a great perspective, I think, for the viewer standpoint, because like my situation is totally different than Marisol's, because she's married, but she's retired. She doesn't have to work. But it's like I'm single and I work. So it's just like a whole crazy, totally different perspective on it.
And they lived with each other for much longer than us, right?
Right. Yeah.
What? Like who?
Like you said, you were an empty nester, but my mom was like an empty nester for half of me being like
Yeah.
growing up.
So yeah, so it's like it's so different, the different perspectives on this, because Demonte went to go live with his dad and starting eighth grade. So I mean, technically I was a empty nester, but he would still visit, we would still make that time. But I always wanted Demonte to live with me. I'm like, just come live with me.
Please come back.
Even during COVID, he came and stayed with me for a few months while they did the schooling from home. And I was like, oh, it was so nice to have him there. Not just to help me with house projects, but it was so nice to have him there. And then, I mean, it is lonely because it's like, man, it would be so cool if DeMonte was here because I would fill up his whole social calendar with lots of fun things to do. And I'm sure he would love that. But, and he'd probably be like, Mom, you need to get a man because this is driving me
Yeah,
crazy.
like that's no, that's
But
funny that you would fill up his social life because my son says the same thing about me. Like in 2 weeks, we're gonna go and do things. And he's like,
yeah,
just make sure that you don't fill up the whole weekend. So I can relate. Yep, my son is the same. Zael is the same.
yeah. So it is. It does get lonely, and even though I do enjoy my alone time, I always think like, oh man, if DeMonte was here, like we could be doing funny TikToks all the time together. Not saying that he would want to do that, but I have all these ideas. But yeah, so it is definitely a shift,
Yeah,
especially being
it's a
single
hardship.
and all of that. So yeah, just just one bird in this nest.
Yeah.
Yep, sure. All right. So as we move forward, Marisol and Juliana, what do you two hope your relationship looks like 5 to 10 years from now?
Go ahead on Juliana.
Oh, you want me to go first? I would say that like in 5 to 10 years that there's still like what is current, but then I guess like a little bit more of I guess hanging out. I feel like I mean of course like within like the next year or two that could already be something. But if I'm having to like think about 5 to 10 years, I would say just like spending more time together because like I'm always working and like I feel like I don't get to enjoy like hanging out with my mom as much because my weekends are dedicated to being scheduled at work um to help other people rather than being able to just help myself to either taking care of myself or going and hanging out with my mom because it's like when even if I have a day off, it's like I would love to go and go over to my mom's house, but it's like me and her live like a little over an hour away. That when I'm here at home, it's like I don't really want to like
Nah, I
yeah.
understand
So
that.
I think more just like more fun, more time together. Yeah, more open communication. Yeah.
Well, I hope in the next 5 to 10 years that Juliana she's doing a good job, with the dental assistant work, but I want more for her career wise, right? But that's just me, being a mom. Obviously she needs to want that, but I want that to be to a level where she can be a little bit more less dependable on me because in life we're not going to be here forever.
Hmm.
I just want her to be able to be in a place where financially she is independent. I mean, she's already there, but I want her to be just a little bit more independable. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years I'll be a grandmom, so you know
Well,
Monte's like, here we go.
I'll shoot that one down right now.
it's 5 to 10 years,
Yeah, a lot can
like,
happen in 5 to 10 years.
no, I just want her just to keep,
Yeah.
just keep doing what she's doing, but kind of like you said earlier, Melissa, is like you need to have like goals in life and just not stay stagnant.
Yeah.
But I think the relationship with her and I is good. I just want to continue it like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I would say that the next 5 to 10 years, I think this year, similar like what Juliana was saying, something that like a trait that you guys are starting now and it doesn't just have to be 5 years is like me seeing my mom more. I think that is
Hmm.
something that I want to grow and like more like destination things. So like we have the half marathon coming up and we're both going to a place that we haven't been to,
Yeah.
which is nice, but she's always, obviously you guys know that she's always on the move, and I'm watching her be on the move. But hopefully it'll get to a point where we'll be able to share moments like that, like being on the move.
Yeah.
Good
No,
luck trying
I
to keep up with
agree. And
her.
I was thinking the same thing. Like in 5 to 10 years, I would love for you to like move a little bit closer. We don't necessarily have to be in the same time zone. I mean, it would be nice if you were, a little bit closer would be awesome. Like that's what I'm hoping in 5 to 10 years. So that way I can do a easy weekend trip. Leave on a Friday, come back on a Sunday. I will do that like once a month. But getting out to Utah for a weekend is really difficult.
Yeah.
But no, that is something that I hope progresses in time because I would love to see you more than like once a year because I feel like it really has to be planned. And I'm sorry for always
That
being on the
PTO,
move.
that PTO.
Yeah, this PTO is tough, but yeah, I definitely want to see you more. And I think just with the loneliness, I try to keep myself busy. So that's why I'm always on the move, trying to be somewhere. But I also want to give you your space because, you're in a relationship and you're doing all of your fun things in Utah. So once you move closer, then I'll be able to see you
Third
more.
wheel.
Yep, I'll be I'm the third wheel for everyone. I'm used to being a tricycle. Yep. But all right. So as we are closing out this episode, I want to thank Marisol and Juliahna for joining us. Thank you so much for both being so open during this episode, sharing your experiences with us and our viewers. So before we close out, if you could give another mother, adult, child pair advice, what would it be?
So I remember a few years ago, there was a time in my life where my relationship with Juliana was very strained. I felt, and I even told my husband, I said, she's always going to hate me. I said, she literally hates me. And that stressed me out so much. So my advice would be to mothers that are going, especially with daughters, like if that thought has ever crossed your mind, just be hopeful that things do get better, and just have faith. Because I had to have a lot of it. Yeah, I had to have a lot of faith, but it does get better. It does get better over time.
No, thank you.
Mine's quick and short. I think that like silence creates distance faster than anything. So
Oh,
it's
I like
like
that.
by not saying anything or just being closed off, like the relationship between you and your mom isn't or I don't know, isn't going to go in a direction that you're intending for it to be if you're just not being like open. Yeah.
Thanks.
I think I would say I said it earlier, but it's just something that I saw before is like your parent this is their first time parenting the same way it's your time like growing up. Like it's both of your first times experiencing this. So if you can understand that and like have a little bit more empathy and understanding for like the other person's position, then I think communicating and understanding each other makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and my piece of advice that I would give is just because they're younger, it doesn't mean that they don't offer any type of perspective from their point of view. And I think it's important to always be open to what your child has to say and see it from their eyes and kind of, shift your mindset a little bit and really take in what they have to say. Because, like I've said on this episode and other episodes, I really do appreciate DeMonte's perspective on things. So I always say, as a parent, just be open-minded and open your heart to what they have to offer. And then
Can I
the
say?
very last, oh yeah, go
No, no,
ahead.
no, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Oh no, not yet.
No, I wanted to mention something because like you just said something that like it hit a nerve in a good way. in a good way, is that just because, like, yes, they're young, it doesn't mean that their like opinion is like less valuable.
Right.
So not so long ago, I decided to just be a little open with Juliana, and tell her some of my struggles that I have going on here. And the advice that she gave me, like, I looked at the message and I was like, wow, like this is coming from Juliana. And it was very like valuable, and it made me
Oh,
be like, oh my gosh, like she's probably in this department, she's a little bit mature than I am. So yes,
yeah. Oh,
like,
I love that.
yeah, that just because they're young doesn't mean that, or just because they don't have like all the
Right.
experience that you have, it doesn't make it like less.
I agree. Thank you so much. Cool. Okay, so one final thing before we close out. What's one thing you learned about each other today that you didn't know?
I would say, well, I think I'm not gonna say like anything in specific because there's a lot of things that my mom said that I wouldn't have known if this didn't happen. So I guess to kind of like tweak the question would be that by actually opening up and asking questions that go towards a relationship that you have amongst each other, like get you responses to where you can actually learn more about each other rather than just the regular conversations about shopping or your next travel destination, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So just by like just asking questions. And I mean, like, I know that there's cards that you can buy on like TikTok shop that you can ask each other, but
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't feel like genuine where you're like reading the question off a card. I feel like it should be a question where you think about it and it's like, hey mom, like this question came up to mind and I just want to know like, well, how you feel about this or what do you think about this, and kind of create a conversation based off a genuine question to where you can actually understand more about each other and each other's point of view on the relationship between the both.
I love that.
Love
I love
that.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. The end.
Yeah, we're not topping that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh my
right.
God, I love that perspective. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Does anyone have any parting
damn,
words?
Juliana, you just made everybody speechless.
I know, I love
Sorry.
it.
Sorry.
I
No,
don't have
thank
anything.
you again. Like I started in the beginning, thank you, for doing this. I don't think that Juliana and I have ever sat down to talk about deep things like this. So I'm truly happy to hear her answers. Yeah, it
Yeah, I
makes us,
love this.
more connected.
No, I
Thank
love
you.
this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So, thank you both for being on episode 16 with us. And as you guys can see, we definitely have two different perspectives of us parenting our kids, going from young kids up to adulthood. And we really hope you guys take away something from this. And we really hope that it enriches and builds your family dynamic. And just to hit home, this was like the whole reason why Demonte and I wanted to do this podcast, is to really open up conversations over the dinner tables with parents and their kids. So thank you two again for coming on. Really appreciate you both. And I loved learning about you two and your dynamic.
Same.
So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap.
Cheers. Oh no, I should say, and that's a wrap as well, huh? Probably. Okay, we'll do that again.
Thanks for tuning in.
That's
Cheers. And that's a wrap.